Hello to Critical Review. Hey, where you been? Well. I got some splaining to do. Um, I haven't been on here, and I'm sorry. Um, a lot of life events going on. Just a number of things that all happened at the same time. But I'm back, and I'm getting back on the horse here, getting the work done. How you doing? What's going on with your show? Got any interesting guests, or what topics are you covering on your show these days? Critical Review. Didn't you have a big show recently with a bunch of different guests? Yeah, it's been a little crazy. A week ago, I was in the emergency room and I'm fine, but I was pretty sick for about a week. And then my aunt, she was in hospice, and I had to go travel to see her and send my final goodbyes. And she passed away this morning. So it's been a rough ride last 2 weeks, kind of. I don't even know like what day it is and shit. Like that's kind of how blasted I am. I'm pretty much okay at the moment. The health stuff is mostly okay. I do have some doctor checkups Thursday and then the following weeks. But right now it's a little somber. Like I said, my aunt, that was my mother's sister, passed away this morning, and you know, the thing is, I made my goodbyes to her and I shed my tears, and it's one of these scenarios where she was suffering really, really, really badly. And so when somebody dies under those circumstances, it's a huge relief when they pass away because they don't have to suffer, obviously. So, a lot of interacting with the family and that kind of stuff. Let me read your comments here. Glad you're back. Yeah, I've got a couple pages. I'll be doing some inking in the evenings now when I'm not tied up with stupid love shit, which I seem to have a lot of recently. Condolences for your aunt. That's never easy. Yes, they're no longer in pain. I'm really kind of burned out on the whole topic, so it's not really something I want to review and regurgitate during the show so much. Been dealing with it. Yeah, I think you understand what I'm saying. So. But I'm tired. You know what I mean? I'm tired. I've been through a lot. So it's enough going through the emotional stuff with family and death in the family and all that. But then to be dealing with illness and health issues on top of it, it just is tough because you got to go to work. I can't, like, I mean, I do have stuff like paid time off and shit, but I generally don't do that. I try to, go to work and be a good worker. You know what I mean? Because life is all about your job and making money and getting the bag, getting the shekels. Otherwise, no one will love you. Did you know that? You don't have any value as a person if you don't have money. I know you know I'm kidding. But anyway, Justin Noel is here. Welcome, welcome. Hey, hey, hey. Just drawing. Yeah, doing my thing. I'll show you the new pages that are coming up. Take a quick peek. I don't know how well you can see the pencils are always pretty light. Money's not everything. Yeah, obviously. This character DeBanks is punching through a door, smashing it to pieces, and he's got these guards behind him that are armed, and they're breaking into the bad guy's lair, and there's just other things that are happening in the story. There's basically multiple stories, I guess. I don't know, what do you call that? Subplots, I suppose, that are all sort of converging, kind of. I think that the reader has a lot on his hands in terms of like, you know, knowing all the different subplots and the characters, and then piecing it together as they read through the whole story. It's a fairly long story. There's definitely lots of meat on the bone there. There's a lot to chew on, a lot of interesting, exciting concepts and action and comedy, romance a little bit. So there's never a dull moment. That's for sure. That is for sure. Hello to Kendall. Welcome, Kendall. Good to have you. God loves you. Oh, thank you, Kendall. I needed to hear that right now. You really hit me right in the heart. Thank you. A critical review says Justin. Hi, Justin and Kendall. Kelly Darnell is here. I draw Demogorgon from Stranger Things. Can you draw the Demogorgon? I certainly can. I don't get paid to do that, though. This is what I get paid to do, so I'm gonna do that. But that's a cool monster. It's definitely a scary looking monster. The actor that plays that monster is even scary. He's the first time I saw that actor, I don't know his name. He's this blonde dude from the South. I saw him in like a cowboy movie that was directed by Kevin Costner. He did this like kind of semi-recent cowboy movie, and that actor played like a bad guy in the cowboy movie, and he was very like you hated the character that he was playing. He was just creepy and cruel, and it was just a bad dude. So like to see the same character in Stranger Things was a little trippy because I had already, had kind of thoughts about that. You see an actor and you think of them in a certain way, like I'll tell you a funny. It's not funny, but I guess a kind of a funny story. I lived in New York City years ago, and there's lots and lots of actors in New York City. So you run into famous people there. And there was an actor. He was the bad guy from Shawshank Redemption, which I doubt many of you remember that film, but it's Tom Hanks. Is it Tom Hanks? Yeah. And is it Tom Hanks? I can't remember. No, it's not. It's anyway, it doesn't matter. So it's the bad guy from that film, and it's like a prison film, so it's not good. Anyway, I'm coming around a corner on the street in New York City, and that actor, the bad guy from that movie, he's coming around the other corner, and so we get into one of these situations where like he goes left and I go left, and then I go right and he goes right, and we're sort of like cutting each other off from passing, because we got our zigs and zags off, if you know. But then I noticed like, holy shit, you're that guy from that movie. And immediately my face was like, yeah, you're that guy. Like, I hate you. Like, I had this like visceral, mean, angry, kind of like violent anger sort of in my face. And the poor guy, he was like terrified and like ran off. And then I realized like how funny that was, in the sense that I'm not responding to the person, but I was responding to the actor in the movie. And then I thought, wow, that's got to be the weirdest thing, being an actor, and people treat you according to like the character that you play. You know, does that make sense? You guys understand what I'm trying to say here? Anyway, that's one of my millions of crazy Donald Kent stories right there. So you guys put me in a good mood already. That's good. Your drawings are cool. Do you always draw like that? Not always, but I will show you some of my art. We got a lot of new people here today, so you guys get a special show. Are you ready? Are you ready? I'm gonna pull out some pages of one of my comics that'll never get published because I'm stuck in this comic. Anyway, one day it will. I've got some of it online on what's it called, on Substack. But anyway, let's take a look at some of my comic book art, special for you guys. Hey, Splattercat, thanks for joining us. Welcome back to Rexus. Good to have you guys. Love your drawings. Thank you. All right, so let's just have a little look. This guy here is a character called Militiaman, who transforms into another character called Dark Maga. So the whole story behind that is pretty rough. I won't get into it, but there's a fascist superhero. Do you guys like fascism? That's cool. Did you Demon Slayer before? Did you do Demon Doodoo? I don't think I've ever done Demon Slayer. I've drawn demons and I've drawn slayers, but I can't say I've done Demon Slayer. Anyway, here are some Muslims that are planning on burning down a church. Do you like that? Muslims burning down churches? Anyway, here's some crazy superhero fight action. Woohoo! Flying through the air like a superhero, yeah. Uh-oh, this is a pretty bad scene. This black woman is torturing this white superhero because she's racist and hates white people. It's not good. Anyway, do you like racism? Yeah, I'm kidding. Here's a demon. Here's a demon. You said, do I draw demons? There you go. I like the Iron Eagle. Yes, I do too. This, man, I'm looking back at this and I'm like, I fucking missed this story. Shit, I miss doing this so bad. Oh my God, man. This is my original story. And it operates in a linear fashion where one thing precedes the next. There's more of these different characters in action. Holy Shavitsky's. Heavens to Murgatroyd. Actually, this is a double page spread. Check this. This will blow your socks off, kids. I can't, my screen isn't big enough to show you the whole thing. It's a 2-page spread. Do you see what I'm saying? So it's like a gigantic double page spreadaroonie. I like your Belrog demon. You shall not pass, Belrog. That's I appreciate that. I thank you for saying that. It's really more like a Remphan, though. You know who Remphan is? He's the god that the Jews pray to. Anyway, let's move on. We got Dark Maga, and he doesn't know that this is his father. His father's an angel. You can see them kind of fighting up in the corner there. He doesn't realize that he was born for a higher purpose yet in the story. Some other shit going on in here. Here we have Militiaman facing off with Fash Force. And he's saying, "You're mean. You don't be fascist. You're bad." And the fascist guy's like, "Yeah, but check out my drip, bro. Check out my drip, man. I'm rolling up on this piece. What do you got? A fucking eagle? Get the fuck out of here. Check out my drip, y'all." Anyway, that's badass, Donald. Thank you. No, but I'm a huge Loader fan. Like your bill. Okay. That's good. That's good. There's our boy, Dark Maga, ready to tear shit up, bruh. And his father is like crying. He's like, "Oh no, oh no." Something really, really bad happened, and instead of transforming into an angel, he's turned into a demon. And now with his superpowers, there's like almost nothing that could stop him. And he was actually, this character here is essentially born to fight that demon that I showed you earlier. Naturally, I won't be able to find. There it is. So like his purpose in life, he's like half human, half angel, because this demon called Noahide has come to Earth to spread Noahide law and make slaves of everyone or behead them for being Christian. And so, so this character is supposed to fight him. He does later in the story, but I can't tell you what happens because then it would break reality. These are some older sketches. Let me kind of get this out of the way because one of them has my real name on it. And we can't show you my real name. What is my real name? Let's take a guess. Lord Bartholomew Commingsworth the Third. That is my real name, and this is how I really talk. I've tricked you all into thinking I'm an American. Ho ho ho. Anyway, there's more shit for you to look at. I know you hate it. I'm sorry. I'm a bad person. Anyway, these, check this out, man. 13 to 50, we shouldn't have to live like this. What the fuck am I doing? What is wrong with me? And naturally, the Antifa start beating him up because of that. So who comes along to help but the bikers? Bikers of America. America, number one. Oh, let's read some things. The drawings are really good. Thank you. Very detailed and well done. Woohoo. Yeah, but you're the only one who likes them. Everyone else is quiet. So I assume that means they want me to shut up. Less talk, more draw. Shut up, Kent. I'm really impressed with these. I'm like so happy with them. It's been such a long time since I've done this book that I'm like, I forgot how fucking good it is. Some bitch. How the fuck you coming off being so damn good? Who the hell do you think you are? What the fuck right on you? All right, I better shut up and get to work, right? Otherwise, you guys are all gonna quit on me. Splattercat says, bought your book, so you know I like it. Woo! Thank you, my sir. My best buddy. Thank you so much. It's good to have you back, man. I haven't seen you in the Telegram for a long time. These are so good, they could be tattoos. Many people have said to me, like, I should do tattoos. I just can't imagine drawing on human skin with a needle. That to me is like, you can't erase your mistakes. This is fucking sick. I'm sorry, but this is just damn fucking good. I left the Telegram group months ago. Why? Oh, I shouldn't ask that. You got your life to live. You got chickens to take care of. I hope this is not something that I did or said, though. I hope it's not that. But sometimes you gotta step back, You gotta step back, bruh. Let's take a look at these demons. We were just talking about demons. Or daemons. These are kind of imaginative. And whacked out. Like wackadoo. You know what I'm talking about? Anyway. I think it's enough of this. Enough of this ego worship here. Let's get back to work. That was a fun little romp, though. It was a fun little ride. So let's. I'm gonna actually have my window open. I'm gonna have to shut that because getting a little on the cold side in here. Let me read a comment or two first. I'm sadly more focused on my computer and kicked the bucket, and all 20 pages of my book were on the computer. You're kidding me, bro. I hope the hard drive is salvageable. Oh God, that's awful. Telegram freaks me out. Feds. You're probably right. You're probably right. Hold on, I'll be with you in a second. All right, so here's the secret sauce. Here is the secret sauce, my friends. You don't have to worry about feds when you're not doing anything that is feddy. Does that make sense? Like, you're not. we're talking about things that are happening in the world, uncensored. We're not planning, how to burn down a city like Antifa would, or you know what I'm saying. Like those are the people that the feds need to be going after, not us. So there's really I don't feel any fear about that because like I'm not doing anything illegal, So I don't really. I figure they're everywhere anyway. And now, as we enter into the age of Palantir, there's really nobody that's not going to be under surveillance. It's a new world. It's a whole new world. Sorry, that was like a little Disney moment I just had right there. It's a whole new world where the Jews get to surveil everything we say. Don't criticize Israel. Sorry, that was basically pretty stupid and cringe. But you know what? That's how I roll sometimes. Unapologetically cringe. I'm sorry, I apologize. I just been going through a lot lately. Maybe I can zoom in on that. I can't do Telegram because of the age and ID verification BS. Google Play won't let me download it. Huh, that's weird. You're right, Donald. News always says they get info from the Telegram or Discord. Right. Too much infighting during the Charlie Kirk thing, so I left. Yeah. Telegram freaks me out. I love it. I mean, to me, it's like where it all goes down. It's like that's where all the real free speech is. It's where all the real dissidents are. I don't know what to tell you. I don't know. I don't want to live in fear. I'm not going to live in fear. I'm just not going to do it. I just can't. I don't have the energy for that. You know. I've wasted enough time worrying about shit like that. I'm not going to worry about it anymore. You know what I'm on now though is I'm back on Twitter, and like I used to live on Twitter basically, and then I kind of backed off of that. So essentially, the concept is that I'm pretty much looking at how to get my new show up and running and then monetize it. And Twitter is a really important place for engagement. Elon is talking about all kinds of new features and shit that make it monetizable. Have you heard of FTJ? No, what is FTJ? Do not know what that is. I actually have an old kind of alt-right account that has like almost 3,000 followers. And then I made a new one, and the new one was more for like Comicsgate and the new Donald Kent. And I just wasn't getting any subscribers. I wasn't getting any action because they're too normy. Everybody in that world is just too normy. They're not really smart enough, frankly. And so I was like, fuck this. I'm going back to my old based account where there's real interesting people, you know. And of course, I've got a much higher subscriber area. More people have subscribed to me. I should say followed, not subscribed. And right off the bat, I'm already getting lots of action, you know, so that's pretty cool. It's the video streaming platform. I think David Gahari runs it. It's totally new to me. I'm sorry, I do not know about that. I don't know anything about Telegram having like an age and ID verification thing. I joined it quite a while ago, so there probably was no like ID verification at that time. I just simply made an account and then that's it, you know. So I don't know how that works. One thing I don't think I'll ever be able to do is have a Facebook account because they now require you to do biometrics. So what that means is that you have to like show your face on camera and then turn your face to the left, turn your face to the right. It's as if you're being fucking booked at a police station, and they're getting your picture. And it's like, who in the fuck made you king? Get the fuck out of here. You don't get to fucking get a left and right image of my face. Go eat shit. Fucking Facebook piece of shit motherfuckers. The only thing about it though is it's such a great platform for just like, what's that, Facebook Marketplace. All my old friends that are like, dried up people that like follow Fox News and CNN are on there. People that are like getting old. It's not really like a social environment that I would really want to engage in, but this just has all that other stuff, it's for marketing. It's just like one of the premier marketing spots. So, oh well, I guess I'll have to live without it somehow. How can I live without you, Facebook? And to think like I had like 3 years of, what do you call it, Facebook jail back in the day, back in the 2016, the first Trump, what do you call that, when he was in office, term. Yeah, anyway, whatever, I don't want to think about that. So, yeah, I don't. You know what's fucked up is it's actually Christmas vacation. I had so much time off that I just got used to having time off, and then it's like, oh, now you got to go back to work. And I was all calibrated to just, do my weekly schedule, get up at a certain time and go to work and da 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 da, all of that. And now it's sort of like, I don't know, it's like you need a vacation from your vacation. You know what I mean? It just throws off your rhythm. You know what I mean? So it would have been better to not have a vacation. I prefer to just stay on my rhythm. So what else is new? There's this. I should probably check the chat and interact with you guys. It's more Google Play. Lets you download apps. Okay. It's video streaming. I read that. Nothing else. Nothing else. I guess not. Oh well. Oh boy, 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 boy. Yeah, there's a really. I'm involved in so many projects. There's this thing called. Well, I won't say what it is quite yet. There's a type of an arts organization that I'm on the board, and we're figuring shit out. It's taking time. I'm I don't know. Some things I guess I shouldn't talk about because it's like my life. But don't want the feds to know everything. Leave a little mystery. Make it fun, right? Excited about getting my new show going. The Imperium Calling. Nationalist Culture Review. Pretty awesome. I got Greg Johnson on the first show. Holy shit. He's a big dog, dude. He's a big name. Greg Johnson. How the hell did I get him on the first show? Pretty awesome. That's exciting. I think that'll put me on the map. People will be like, "Wow, okay, dude's got Greg Johnson on the show. What is this? Like, what's going on here?" Then I can just kind of go up from there, I suppose. The next guests that I have scheduled are not like as big name as Greg Johnson, so we'll see how that plays out, or this or that. I don't know yet, but it's a sort of a like a long game. It's like slow and steady wins the race. You know what I mean? It's kind of turtle versus the hare. So I'm gonna just do this show over, honestly, years. I mean, this is gonna be my next big thing. I used to run the Imperium Art Show, and that was my big show. I had big names on. Well, not just. I had Joel Davis on, and like everybody's talking about Joel Davis because he's in prison in Australia for his activities exposing the you-know-whos, and Australian government is absolutely draconian and evil. And on top of that, reports are showing that he is being very badly treated in jail. They're not feeding him. They're not allowing him to bathe. It's just human rights abuses, basically. That's what he's going through. And I mean, I've interviewed the guy twice. You know, I wouldn't say that we're friends in the sense that, like, you know, we hang out and like call each other or something. You know, he lives in Australia, but you know, I certainly have a friendly rapport with him. You know, we know and respect each other, and of course, the work that he's been doing in Australia is very, very important, but also extremely risky. Australia now is pretty much the same as like UK or anywhere else that has these like horrible draconian laws and stuff. I think you guys know that this scenario. It's fucked up. He's a political prisoner. Okay, that man committed no crime. Criticizing Israel is not a crime, and sending people to jail for that is a crime, a massive crime, and he's paying the price right now. It's called skin in the game. You know what I'm saying? Skin in the game. Oh God, where are these shows on YouTube? I didn't get any notification. If you're talking about my shows, you just have to look on my channel. You got to dig a little bit, and you'll see the playlists. Joel Davis was on. I had a show called Afternoon at the Museum with him, and oh God, his name is slipping my mind right now. He's a Canadian artist guy, Geo, goes by the name Geo. Very, very deep into the arts. And then I also had him on with Imperium Press because Joel, I forget the other guy's name. They both run Imperium Press, and then we had them on Imperium Art to discuss, you know, the role of literature in the arts, in our movement, etc. It's good stuff. I mean, Joel is a heavyweight intellectual. He's definitely the dude knows his shit. Like he's pretty hardcore with philosophy and the rest of it. You know. I'm drawing Vladimir Putin in a bear Wolverine outfit. Red splitter, only matter of time. Let me read. I gotta get back to the chat. Claudia LaChapelle. How are you, Claudia? How are you doing? Did you watch the Backlash's latest episode? They had Thomas Rousseau on. I've seen commercials of it, but I haven't watched the episode. So I need to watch it. Any highlights you can mention? Rexus says Scott Adams passed away today. Yes, I know. It's very, very sad, very tragic. But I gotta be honest with you. To me, death is it's better than life. And I know that sounds dark, and I don't mean to sound dark, but if you want to really get philosophical, we were born to suffer. Our bodies and the world and all of these conditions are made in such a way that, you know, it's just suffering. And so then in the astral plane, when you have an energy body, yeah, you can suffer from terrors like demons and unresolved traumas and what have you, but you're mainly free from the mortal coil. And so I don't know. I mean, I don't want to be. I hope I'm not being like insensitive by saying that. I don't mean to be insensitive. I love the guy. You know, I loved it when he went through his whole phase where he was like, around blacks don't relax, like, just get away, just move away, all of that. I don't care. You can call me racist all day long. I'm not gonna, risk my life in these situations, circumstances, get away, blah 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 blah. It was a huge, huge deal when he was talking about that stuff online. I assume you guys remember that. It was like a big event at the time. There were lots of funny memes and stuff, but yeah, we lost a good one, guys. We lost a good one. For those of you who were not here in the beginning of the show, my aunt just passed away this morning, and last week I had to travel a little bit to see her in hospice and give her my final goodbyes, and I did my crying and let it all out, and I'm not gonna turn the show into a big negative, sad show, but it's a thing, it's a thing that's going on right now. Where are these shows? I just read that. It's not a crime yet, right? Was this a while ago? Was what a while ago? Right, Splatter, one matter of time. It's great. He talks quite a bit about the structure of Patriot Front, answers viewer questions, general stuff he's done on other shows. Really great. Really, but still great. Yeah, I love the guy. He's a hero. He's awesome. Do you believe in reincarnation? Yes, strongly. I'm absolutely convinced of reincarnation, 100%. And I can talk about that if you guys want me to, but I'm 100%, 1000%. Big Bongo 1736 has checking in. Thank you for coming and hanging out with us here on the live show. Condolences for your aunt. Sorry to hear. Thank you. That's very sweet of you guys. I appreciate that. It's a time when family kind of comes forward and regardless of problems I've had with my family, there's a pretty decent reaction that people are kind of getting along and, being good to each other in a time of grieving. And that's important. So I'm happy to say that. It's exhausting though. Life. So in science, it's proven that matter cannot be destroyed. It only transforms. Matter being, of course, atoms, right? And so, what's your body made of? It's made of matter. It cannot be destroyed. It can only be transformed. And so, therefore, the energy that is your astral body lives on. But your true self is your consciousness. And that's the thing that most people can't grasp because they think their true self is their ego. And then what's the ego? It could be sort of a conglomeration of a variety of different things. But yeah, so that's the stuff. That is the stuff. Also, there's yeah, I could go deep into it, but I don't. I'm just kind of. I'm not really in the greatest mood, to be quite honest with you. Just with my aunt passing away and stuff. I don't know. Maybe I'll talk about it. Second law of thermodynamics. I think interesting. That's a good point. But see, like to me, I don't need like science is reliable up to a point. There's a lot of spiritual sciences that are just sciences we don't yet understand. And so, like, it's not totally explainable or infallible. Um, I've had lots and lots of paranormal experiences in my life, um, out of body experiences, ghosts, stuff of this nature. And then I've studied, what do you call it, near death experiences. Um, I don't want to get into a big discussion on Gnosticism, but Gnosticism is essentially my current philosophy. That's where I'm at in life right now. I've come to the determination that Gnosticism is the truth. And so I know some people don't like that. And most people don't even know what Gnosticism is, so it's not even really an issue, Not even an issue. But I do think about it daily, pretty much, and like, how can I, you know, we always talk about like having a good life, but you gotta prepare for death, and there's ways to do that. Death is the most important thing to prepare for in life. If you're not doing that, then it could have really severe consequences to your soul. And so this is a thing I'm deeply concerned with. A matter that I've been interested in since I was young. Second law, would love to do ghost story show. Ooh, well, I've got a good one. It's very personal. It's kind of tragic, but it's very real. And my mom communicated to me on the night of her death, and so that's a pretty serious topic. Very, 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 very poignant. Very, very powerful. Like, shocking. It was pretty shocking. It's an amazing story. Big Bongo says it's not easy to pin Gnosticism down to one concrete set of ideas, as what we know of. Slow down. Concrete set of ideas as what we know of it is drawn from various found texts in different locations, varying ages. So a lot, like the early church, basically like persecuted Gnostics, and so they destroyed a lot of texts. However, early Christianity had several forms of Gnosticism. I just recently was learning about Hermetic Gnosticism, which is not as sort of negative as your standard Gnosticism. By negative, I guess what I mean is that, that this world is a soul trap, essentially, and that we're, kind of the food of demons, basically. But you're onto something there. It sounds like you've done some research, and it's an ongoing thing. So the Nag Hammadi in Egypt is probably the most important event in terms of Gnosticism and even just overall religious history. The discovery of the Nag Hammadi texts, the Gospel of Thomas in there, etc. Very, 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 very significant event. What's I don't know if you guys know this, but like so the Nag Hammadi is. Let me read. Hold on a second. Bongo says, Demiurge stuff, divine feminine, Sophia serpent worship, Genesis inversion to varying degrees. You're definitely well read on this. It sounds like you know what you're talking about. Serpent is the liberator, classic deist Satanism, but that's not all Gnosticism. I could hear his thoughts and feelings. I know it wasn't my imagination. Wait, we got two conversations going on here. Etta says I had the similar thing happen to me with my dad. Wow. I could hear his thoughts and feelings. I know it wasn't my imagination because the oldest daughter was there, and even though I did not say anything to her, she came to me and told me the same exact things. Yep. Yeah, Burrs, you're having some ghost stories in his house. Um, so it's very rare that somebody comes into the chat and knows anything about Gnosticism. So I appreciate you quite a lot. I really am very happy to have you here and be able to talk, and maybe I can learn something, Um, what is it? Come on. Come on. That's not gonna work. Okay. So here's one of the opposing views to Gnosticism. It's more of a Hermetic principle that, like, what you essentially something to the effect that, like, what you think makes it real. Like, you create reality with your thoughts. And if you believe in archons and Gnosticism and all that stuff, then you're making it real. You know what I'm saying? So that's an interesting perspective on it. With the research that I've done, people who are experts at out-of-body experience, near-death experience, remote viewing, I've come to believe in Gnosticism based on that. So, where am I going with all this? So yeah, I would just say that I basically am searching for a way to die in a empowering way, so that I'm not waylaid or deceived by the archons in the astral plane, and that I can merge with the monad, with the source, the true God. And as I think about my aunt who passed away today, I obviously am very concerned about that. And I prayed quite heavily for the angels and ancestors to guide her back to God. Again, I really feel like the way that you lived your life and how, whether or not you prepared yourself to die, those things are going to determine your passage through, the Bardo and all of that. So I can't tell you, this is nothing more important than being ready to die. And I mean that in the most spiritual sense. I'm not saying like, like kamikaze. I'm not saying like that. So I suppose there's something to say for that. All right, let's read some chats. Oh, we're talking Buddhism. We're getting there. We're getting there. We're going there. Hold on. By the way, I lived in Asia for 5 years. So get ready for some Buddhism. Serpent worship, liberator. That's not all. Gnosticism. I could hear the thoughts. I read that. Big Bongo was what spirituality do you study? I'm Catholic, but I'm not very religious at all. Understood. I'm more spiritual. Do you believe that the light is really the archons? I've been seeing videos saying that, and I don't know what to make of it. So I can only tell you what I think. I can't tell you the truth. I don't know the certain for certain, like, what is the truth on that matter. But where I'm at right now, I'm probably not going to go into the light. I believe, like, from the resources that I've been looking at, I would say that the light is essentially the reincarnation harvesting machine, if you will. It's yeah, that's what it is. So I think you here's my strategy. So chanting or prayer or having a chant prayer per se, where you can find, if you're Catholic, then you can have something Catholic. If you're Buddhist, use something Buddhist, whatever. But have a phrase that has spiritual power and that you can chant to the point where you are in a trance like state and that nothing will break that trance like state. And so that you're going to see beings, you're going to see spirits. But like, let's say if I see my mother, instead of being super emotional and everything, I'm going to have to say, who do you serve? Are you an archon? Is this my real mother? And our da 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 da. So the one thing that we have going for us is we have sovereignty, we have free will, and the whole trick of the archons is that they have to convince us to do what they want us to do. And so they're going to play off of our fears and our anxieties and our belief systems. So they'll appear as Jesus to a Christian. They'll appear as Buddha to a Buddhist. If you don't have a religion, they'll appear as your mother or your father and say, hey, you got lessons to learn and you made a contract and you got to go back. Okay, here you go. We're going to wipe your memory and off you go back into the cycle for the trillionth time, the quadrillionth time. So I know this is dark and nobody wants to believe it, but if you're a Gnostic or if you want to learn about it, you can take solace in knowing that it's not fated. You're not like, you don't have to go to the slaughter like cattle. Like, you do have free will, and there's ways out of and around this. So it's not as horrible as you might think in that regard. Not a pleasant thing to talk about if you're not ready to talk about it, though. Here is hot as hell again. The heat up way too high. Oh, it's not good. I'm literally sweating. I have to change and open a window and turn the heat off. I apologize, guys. Give me a second here and I'll get back to the chats. And before my phone dies. Boy. Wow, it's so hot in here. All right, let's get back to some chats. Do you believe that the light? I read that. Archons, I've seen the videos. Yes. Big Bongo says, it's written that information can be downloaded, so to speak, gnosis or knowing. Various spiritual practices of all stripes promise similar things. An example is Vajrayana Buddhism that includes, I studied Tibetan Buddhism for a long time. Initiation ceremonies that impart knowledge without it being spoken. So I'm actually initiated in the Yamantaka practice of Tibetan Buddhism. Yamantaka is a wrathful Buddha who is the destroyer of death. And so by being initiated into that, I can take the form of Yamantaka in the Bardo, in death, and use that as a form of protection through death. So, Om Yamantaka Humpe, that would be the chant. these things, like I spent years practicing this. So here's my point. Get into a habit of practicing a prayer that whenever you feel afraid or you're distracted, or even if you're just driving and you're everything's just kind of mundane, and just randomly start chanting your prayer, and do it every day, like as many times a day as you can. You don't have to say it out loud, but do it so that it becomes second nature. And then when you're in danger, when you're in a state of fear or what have you, and then you call on this, you use that power, it will focus you and bring you back down to earth, so to speak. It'll calm you down and get you back into a state where you have control of yourself emotionally. Does that make sense? So it's got to be meaningful to you, though. It can't just be a bunch of words. It's got to be something that really has true meaning, So like I said, if you're, whatever your religion is, naturally you're going to use something from that. Like you could say, Jesus, Mary, and Joseph, 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 Jesus, Mary, and Joseph. And you create a trance state with your chant. And then you'll start noticing your consciousness transforming. Of course, you'll have power over your emotions. You won't be in a state of fear. And then you'll operate more from a real technical spirituality. A spiritual technology. Sorry, that's what I'm trying to say. It's hard to talk and draw at the same damn time. Okay, give me a break. Cut me a break. Jesus, Mary, and Joseph is actually a really beautiful chant. That's a very, very beautiful chant. I can just feel, I don't even know what to call it, but it's a beautiful power, I guess. Now, lamas and gurus and spiritual teachers can give you these. You can look up ones. You can create one. But it's got to be authentic. It's got to be sincere. You know what I'm saying? It has to be. And you got to practice it for years and years and years, for your whole life. Your whole life. Your whole life. The best time to practice it is when you're scared. Let's say you're driving, you hit a patch of ice, and you lose control of your car. Jesus, Mary, and Joseph, Jesus, Mary, and Joseph, Jesus, Mary, and Joseph, Jesus, Mary, and Joseph. And you come right back. You come right back to your root. God is your root. God is the ground of your being. And so you use these chants as a technology to come back. Words have power. It controls the mind. It puts the mind on an object of thought and feeling. And so it's beautiful. It's a very powerful thing. Let's move on. You should have regular shows on this, Donald. This is interesting. So many people have told me that. What's funny is that like these shows where I'm doing my art is when I talk about this stuff. So like if anybody ever went back and listened to all of these art shows, these live streams, you'd get buckets of gold, tons of great things. I don't know if this is propaganda or archons sound like the Jews. Okay, so now you just hit a nerve, kiddo. This is speculation. I can't. Well, I could make a case for this if I had to take this to court and prove it in a court of law. I think one could make the case to say that the quote chosen people are chosen or work for the archons to create suffering in the world. And to somebody that might be like, "Oh my God, you probably think the Earth is flat," But if you know your shit, you, this is very, very, very probable. I would say personally, I do believe that it's it's too esoteric to get into for most people, and I'm not. I don't have the energy to try to like convince people. I don't gain anything by convincing people of these things. But I do personally believe that. When they say the chosen people, chosen by Remphan, chosen by Moloch. To me, Yahweh is the demiurge, if not, a minion of the demiurge. I personally, you know, yeah, yeah. I know that's going, that might offend some people or something, but like, as far as I can tell, Yahweh is the demiurge. If you're Tibetan Buddhist, when you get to the heart chakra, that your last. Oh, Hippocratic Oath is here. Great. Blah, blah, blah. If you're a Tibetan Buddhist, when you get to the heart chakra, that your last best chance not to reincarnate. You'll see 5 Buddhas, and if you blow it, you'll see 5 wrathful Buddhas, and they go to town. So you probably read that from the Tibetan Book of the Dead, maybe. It sounds like the Tibetan Book of the Dead. But to my knowledge, it's actually the crown chakra. You want your soul to exit through your crown chakra. And that's part of a yoga that I do every single night before I go to bed. I do a special, it's very short, it's just a short little yoga prayer combo thing where I practice death, and then I use Qigong to kind of light a fire on my crown chakra. It's too complicated to explain. Anyway, maybe the gods of the Jews. The demons. Critical review. They do a lot of chanting 72 divine names. Isn't that the Solomon book? The 82 names, 72. So you commented on Atlas Thugged the other day. Chat was moving too fast. Lol. Shotokan Naruto-san. Dude, you make me fucking laugh, bro. When the fuck are we gonna get together, man? We're long overdue for a hangout. Shotokan Naruto-san. Yes, I am giving some black belt lessons today. Are you a mod here? Oh, no, I just watch. Oh, well, you do have moderation capacities, Splattercat. Good evening, False Hills. Da da da. What's new? I like mocking Zeb. Oh, this is another chat. Haha, fair enough. He leads himself to mocking sometimes, seems. I like Atlas Thug, intro music, Normal Speed, intro banger, because it's the light of the world. It took their looks. Tikkut Olam. They think I lost that. I don't know what that is. Crown chakra is too easy. It's more difficult to lower. The lower you get. I gave advice to the procrastinators. 5th chakra. It gets infinitely more difficult after that. Wow. Well, maybe you can expand on that. That sounds like something. It's a thing. As they say, it's a thing. It's a thing. But spirituality is like dieting. You have to do it every day. I'm sorry, but that's true. Speaking of dieting, I think I might be going on Ozempic, because I have tried and I cannot lose weight. So I don't know what kind of side effects come from that. Let's see. Group is when you're alive, when you die, you start there. I said, look at the light. Oh, wait. Light of the world. Oh, I see what you're saying. Okay. Um, look how horrific it is. All right, what's next? Oh, my battery is getting mighty low. So you know what that means, guys. When the battery is low, there is no show. So at some point, randomly, my battery is going to die and the show is just going to cut off. So if that happens, I want to wish you guys a good night, and I'll be back. I got more inking to be done. This is taking forever. I need to move on in my life. So in other news, the White Oak Creators Guild is a new project. It's too early really to even talk about, though. We're still kind of working out logistics. It looks to be a arts funding organization. And so I'm actually going to apply myself, even though I'm on the board, for funding. So that's a thing. Das ist good. Have a good night, Kent. Do you have these links? Yes, there's my Substack. Guys, go to my Substack and my website. You can get my book at my website. You guys can buy my book. I would greatly, greatly appreciate that. I could use some help. Yeah, I might as well wrap it up. The phone's about to crap the bed here. So we had a good talk and we got some good art here. So it was a pretty productive evening. And we got some amazing, amazing people in the chat. I am so lucky that I have like amazing people to talk to, like you guys. So lucky. So he is going to sing the outro. It was a good time with you. Thanks for coming. We'll see you again. Do-do-do-do-do. How'd you like that one? I just made that up. It's gonna be a big, big hit. When you're alive. All right, so crown chakra or heart chakra? You decide. All right, guys. I love you. My heart goes out to you. Oh, dude, yes, yes, yes. My heart goes out to you too, big guy. My heart goes out to you too. Anyway, God bless you all. Thanks so much for coming, and we will see you probably tomorrow night. Okay.